Yeah.
East Coast with the gang gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang gang, Lower with the gang gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang gang, Lower with the gang gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang gang, Lower with the gang gang gang, you know we don't play gang. East Coast with the gang gang gang, West Coast with the gang gang gang, Lower with the gang gang gang, you know we don't play gang.
Whoa, East Coast with that gang gang. You know we don't play games. Whoa, hop up on that wagon. Oh, please just get out the way. You know we stay stuntin', right up in your face. We sorry, not sorry. We just stuck up in our ways. West Coast gon' head stand up. Put that glass and hands up. Gang, we famed up. Got that change, we bagged up. Crew love, we stay manned up. Ahem like I'm wheezy.
Oh, yeah, beaches. What's good? What's good, my beaches? Friday night gains, damn sweet. Yeah. I did, Risa. Thank you for asking. What is the good word, ya booshes?
Watch me finesse, walk to the line. Good versus evil, God in his prime. Always in prime, always on time. Our time to shine. Wifey is fine.
I'm doing fine.
Thank you. God fill me up, mud in my glass. God clean me up. All that I ask, wherever you headed that fast. You are in last time I checked, you are all gas. Gas in the whip it up fast.
Here we go, fam. 11:55.
Blasting that Darius, kids in the back.
Let's do it.
The future is black. Black like T'Challa, Wakanda attack.
Swole fucking Normuth.
The sun is shining, the birds are chirping, the bacon is sizzling. Welcome to the Daily Swole.
Testing. Testing, testicles. Welcome everyone to episode 1155 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular swolecast, beardcast, broadcast, gaincast, mancast, pimpcast, sleazecast, and slaycast in the realm, because when I flex, you flex. We all flex our biceps. What's going on, beaches, bustas, hustlers, and ya hoes? Welcome to the Friday night cast. Thanks for watching on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Periscope, and Twitch. And thank you for being here and banging your ear holes over on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you like to get your ear gains, the eargasm, the swolegasm. What's going on Instagram? What's good? What's the new word? What's the good word? What's the new word? What's the dealio, yo? How we doing? What's up, fam? What's up, Joseph, Michael, Cristal, Terry, Brian, Joe, Jennifer, Risa, Matthew? Thank you. I'm not getting reminders anymore or text message when this is live. Just click on accident. Yeah, we'll turn on your post notifications. We're not doing live notifications on Messenger anymore. We don't do that because people weren't clicking on them. So stop doing it. But anyway, you can just keep your notifications on. Make sure you check that out. Make sure you check out your settings. If you're having issues with notifications, now here's the deal. Facebook and Instagram always reset these fucking things. They always reset them because they don't want you to get annoyed. They don't want you to get annoyed because you'll turn on notifications and forget and be like, oh my God, I get annoyed by all these posts and all these notifications. Let me stop using Instagram and Facebook. That's why they do that. So make sure you check that out, because sometimes people have told me that they check it and they're like, oh shit, my whole thing's different now. And no, they all got erased. Sweet new intro, man. New intro. That intro's been there for fucking 3 years. The same intro always. It's always been the same intro. But thank you. I'm glad you liked it. Some of you maybe haven't been around in a minute. Or is this anyone's first time? Popping the swole cherry? Anyone? First time? Sounds like buckets of diabetes. Where? Oh, blew my mind yesterday when I saw a vendor with a cup of fries, dog bowl of fries, and a bucket of fries with free gravy and bacon. Wow, a dog bowl of fries. Holy shit. Does sound like diabetes. What are your guys' thoughts? Here we go. Here's a whole conversation I've been seeing a lot of. Now, One of the issues with the whole nutrition situation in the world, the big issue that I see is that one, most people don't recognize the fact that a lot of different diets can work for a lot of different people. If we just release a little bit of that kind of I'm right, you're wrong mentality, people are more free to get results. When you have to put a title on something, when you have to give it a fucking name, when you have to, associate it with a certain type of training, when you have to associate with a certain location in the world, all of a sudden you're put into a box and you can't go outside it. You need to understand that you can customize. So this episode, Stuck in a Rut, is about that. You might be stuck in a mental rut. You're putting yourself in a mental fucking box, and I'm here to knock that fucking box down. I'm here to just step on it and just crush it. Like those little bubble wrap things. When you step on it, you're like, hey, fuck this bubble wrap. You got to break that mold. You don't have to put a title on how you eat. You don't have to give it a name. It doesn't have to be keto. It doesn't have to be paleo. It doesn't have to be vegan, vegetarian, pescatarian, omno, lacto, fucko, pescatarian, vegan, gism, whatever the hell it is. You could be plant-based, you could be meat-based, you could be beard-based, whatever you want to do. You could be cock-based. If you love to eat enough dick, you can be dick-based, if that's even possible. I don't know if you can survive on dick. Any of you in the comments that have personal experience, you could drop that in the comments below. But you don't necessarily have to put a title on it. And that's where we have this disagreement, or myself, where I see, because I see a lot of people that flaunt their PhDs and their education, which is great. I have education too. I haven't gone to that length because it just fucking does not interest me to that extent. And science is real. Science is real. We do scientific tests in order to see what happens. That's pretty much what a scientific test is. It's done in a certain way that can be repeated, that is honored and holds up by a certain standard that people internationally, the scientific community, has agreed upon. And it's easy to ignore the anecdotal information, and vice versa. It's easy to just have anecdotal information and ignore the science. And I'm not demonizing one or the other, but as a human species, I think in order to cross that bridge between people that just go by experience only and people that only if there's no scientific study on it or there's no proof in science, then it doesn't fucking exist. In order to bridge the gap between people that actually put this stuff into practice versus people that just read a paper and if it doesn't say A, B, or C, it doesn't exist or it's not true. Not everything has been tested. Not everything can be tested optimally. And we don't know everything on both sides of the spectrum, both teams. We don't know everything. There's this idea that just because you see it or just because you experience it, that makes it real. It makes it real for you. Just because you can test it or you have this output or you have one instance or one thing that might lead to think A, B, or C, whatever that is in a scientific study, it doesn't mean that's the only answer. It doesn't mean that's going to apply to 7.5 billion people. It doesn't mean that's going to apply for every single variable, of which there are thousands and millions in every given instance. There's just a lot of it's always two sides. It's liberal and conservative. It's up and down. It's vegan and it's carnivore. There's always opposite ends. Real fucking pulling from the sides. And there's people in the center that say everything in moderation. Well, I don't think that's true either. Here's how you can get out of your fucking rut and get out of your own brain. I think in order to squash the fat acceptance, the body positivity bullshit, not the body positivity from people that have amputations or disfigurement, the body positivity people that are hijacking it because they don't want to exercise, they don't want to eat healthier, they don't want to change and improve themselves. I think we need to figure out really what makes human beings tick. Like what's that pressure point for passion and for desire and for purpose? When people have more of a purpose and they're striving to get more out of their own life and to do better and to be better, tend not to get hung up on a lot of this detailed bullshit. You tend to not get hung up on these fucking details. It doesn't matter if you are overweight or obese. Maybe your parents didn't know any better. Maybe you didn't have a lot of money and you didn't have a lot of education and no one knew this in 1980. It's like, okay, we didn't have this kind of like a fitness and social media life where you can just get information. You can have this conversation with so many people at 24 hours a day. Maybe you were just fed a lot of fast food. It wasn't your choice. You didn't have a job when you were 7. Maybe you had diabetes. They gave you fucking diabetes. Okay. Maybe it's not completely your fault. However, you are still in the situation. Like, you're still in it. You have to take responsibility, maybe not for all the causes of it. Obviously, there's certain situations where some people have it, have an advantage, have a leg up. I get that. But you have to take responsibility for where you are now, because that's where you are. I think we all have to. And whether or not it was all your action and nothing else, I mean, it's your responsibility, it's your fault. But wherever you are right now, your choices throughout your entire life led you here. Whether you had a lot of good options, whether you didn't have a lot of good options, you're here and you're here now. So in many instances, it doesn't matter what happened for the past 20 years. It doesn't matter what happened last week, because last week is over. What are you going to do about now with the situation that you have, with the tools that you have now? Where are you going to go from today until tomorrow? So where do you go from here? What's your next step? What's your next move? When you take responsibility for where you are and for the choices that you've made and the situation that you're currently in, it makes things a lot different. It makes your choices, or your thought process about your choices, a little bit different, because it's your choice. You're in control. You have to be aware that you're in control of your life. You're in control of what you do next. If you have to get up early for work tomorrow, you have a choice if you want to go to sleep earlier tonight and get up early and go to the gym. You have a choice. You have a choice if you want to change your membership to a 24-hour gym and go after work at night. You have a choice. You can choose to do yoga at home. You can choose to not exercise. You can choose to eat chicken and broccoli and have a sweet potato, or you have a choice. You can go to McDonald's, or you can go to Taco Bell and you can get a grande combo and fucking eat a taco Mexican pizza. You can do that. That's why people are fat. So I don't think it's so simple. And I see so much of this with the macro counting and the calorie hounds on Instagram, and especially Instagram. And I think it's hard. Instagram's tough, because Instagram, there's a lot of good information. There's a lot of trash information. And I think it's because Instagram, it's very limiting. So you post a picture, it's limiting depending on the creator and who's posting the content. So Twitter, you have like little short thoughts. But Instagram, for example, you can give a little bit more content, but a lot of people aren't good at expressing themselves within a minute. Now you have IGTV, and a lot of people aren't really good at writing and breaking things down and really conveying their ideas. I think we have to also understand that when you're following people on social media, there are a lot of people in this world, and there are a lot of people that aren't very good at teaching. There are a lot of good doers out there. How many people that you see on Instagram, show of thumbs or hearts or gorillas or biceps, show of hands or hearts or whatever it is, how many people that you see on Instagram that have abs, that have muscles, that look like they're in good shape, that maybe have something that you aspire to have? A lot, right? Float some hearts and float some con. Wake the fuck up, Instagram. Wake the fuck up. Facebook, yo, YouTube, what up? Drop something. I don't know if you could do that. Can you float hearts and stuff on YouTube? I don't know. Anyway, Instagram, there you go. Thank you. Sheesh, don't do me any favors, you beaches. There we go. Maybe it's just delayed a minute. So there are a lot of people that can do it. Thank you, Jen. There are a lot of people that can do it. There are a lot of people that can go to the gym and lift some weights, or go do some push-ups or some pull-ups and go climb a fucking tree. There are a lot of people that can do it. They can execute on it. However, that same person, it changes the whole game when like you're posting pictures of yourself and videos of yourself and you have abs and you look good and everyone's like, wow, cool. And you get followers, you're getting thousands and hundreds of thousands and millions of followers. All these people are following you. And then you change from posting just, hey, selfies and me working out. Cool. Then you start actually giving information about why you do it. But you're not really skilled. You don't really know what you're talking about. You don't really know how to convey that information. You don't really know the psychology of people that are going through this transitional period. You don't know what people are really thinking and what the pitfalls are of someone who's obese. You don't know the pitfalls of someone and where they can go wrong with someone who's very, very skinny and they want to bulk up. You don't really know how to convey that information. It's a lot different when you're sharing it, to teach someone, to show someone how to do it rather than just do it yourself. It's much more of a challenge. Just because you've done it does not give you the skills or the credentials or the credibility to explain how someone else can do it, because that person, all of you watching, you're different than me. I'm different than you. We're all humans, but we have different lifestyles. We have different experiences. We have different physiques. We have different starting points. I can't just share my fucking workouts with you right now, like what I do. If you're a beginner and you jump into one of my workouts, you'll be crippled and you'll be in a wheelchair because you will probably have fucking rhabdo. You'll beat the shit out of yourself. You'll be fucked up beyond repair. And the only reason I do it is because, yes, I have like 20 years of experience. I have a degree. I've held all the top certifications and I've milked them for what they're worth. And then it turns into some fucking money pit. Like the whole system in fitness and certifications, it's the wild fucking west. Even if you have a certification, it's the wild fucking west. It's minimal shit to get those CEUs. These companies just want some more money. Come to my national conference. Hey, do a couple of these quizzes. Submit $50 for each 0.1 CEU. You pay hundreds of dollars every year, every couple years, hundreds, maybe even thousands, depending if you go to these national conferences and shit to get more CEUs so you can keep your certification. I'd rather fucking take the test again. Fuck you feeding me this garbage. There's a lot of shit out there. The corporate aspect, the company aspect, and there's no licensing. You can just fucking have a basic education and pass a test, and all of a sudden you're a personal trainer. And now you can show people how to exercise. You can show people how to overload their bodies and maybe risk getting themselves killed if they drop a bar on their fucking head. You can get a certification. You can get a certification without ever stepping foot in a gym. Can you hear me in the back? You can get a personal training certification without ever stepping foot in a fucking gym. I hope you heard that. Make a note. Hashtag what the fuck. You can get a certification. So just because someone says they have a certification, just because someone has a degree, it doesn't mean they know how to convey the information. It doesn't mean they're stupid. It doesn't mean that they don't know and understand it for themselves. It doesn't mean they don't have personal experience, but to deliver that to other people, to deliver that is a whole different ballgame. How do you talk? And right now I'm doing a podcast, so I'm talking to a lot of people with a lot of varying experience. I'm talking to some fitness pros. A lot of you are fitness pros. A lot of you are just fitness enthusiasts. A lot of you are in the field. A lot of you are, how many trainers are watching right now? How many of you have a personal training certification or are working in the field currently? Just curious. But just because you have a certification, it gives you a minimum competency. It allows the certification company, whatever it is, whether it's NASM or NSCA or whatever it is, it gives them, okay, you have a minimum competency. You have a minimum amount of knowledge, because there's a passing rate. You don't have to get 100. You can get a 70, you can get an 80, whatever the hell it is. You can get X amount wrong, like any test. But some people aren't good test takers, but they can communicate really well. Some people ace those tests, but they're not good with people. They're not good explaining. They're not good at encouraging people. They're not good at keeping people accountable. They're not good at creating habits. They know how to lift. They know how to take a test, but they can't communicate that to people. So all of a sudden, you have social media. You have Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. You have all these platforms where every single person can pick up their phone or a camera, record, and upload. So now it goes even further than that. So before, it was just you had a certification, a percentage of the people that got the certifications would know what they're talking about and can help people, a small percentage. And a lot of people that even had certifications don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Okay, now you have the ability to not even need a certification. You can just make videos and make fitness content, but now everyone's getting their voice out to everyone. So in the past, maybe 15 years ago, you only got the information from the people that just happened to be personal training at your local gym, people that you would meet. Maybe you saw in a magazine somewhere. Now you're hearing the voice of every fucking jabroni in the world on every platform. And a lot of these people just look good because they did it themselves, but they don't understand how human psychology works, how it's important to build habits, how to guide people into a better lifestyle, how to actually get people to stick to it. Then you have the marketing and people like, oh, quick reach shred. Everyone's trying to use these, fancy fucking terms and everyone's trying to sell a product. And then it just goes and explodes. All right. But that's where the foundation of all this bullshit started. This whole industry is, like the title says, stuck in a fucking rut. Like we're in this like cycle. And some people are being authentic. I like to think I am. I know I am because I'm just talking. I say the same fucking thing all the time. I'm very consistent. I still evolve. I generate different thoughts and I evolve as a person. I think differently than I did last year, than I did 2 years ago. If you're not changing your message regularly in terms of updating yourself, like think about your hardware, your software. Like your car does that. Now the cars, they'll update their software and their firmware. You have a Mac, you update to the new operating system. Windows, you update, you get debugged. I debug myself. I upgrade my software. If you're not generating different thoughts, if you're not a different person, you're thinking differently about things now as opposed to 2 years ago or 3 years ago, you're not progressing as a human being. You're just fucking literally stuck in a rut. You need to change how you think. You need to develop it. There's always some place to go. I don't know. I didn't know everything 3 years ago, 10 years ago, and I certainly don't fucking know everything today. But I know what I don't know, and I know what I do know, and I know what works, and I'm sure other things I don't know can work. But it's about the principles and how you deliver the information and where those weakest links are and where those real sweet spots are that you can really make a difference in people's lives. As an educator, as a trainer, as a coach, whatever you want to call, as Papa fucking Swolio, I want to guide you all to the concepts so then you can fucking sink your teeth in it. It's not for everyone. It's not for everyone. My content's not for everyone. I'll call you fat if you're fucking fat. All right? If the sky's blue, it's fucking blue. And I know it's light refraction, so all you physicists out there, fuck yourself. All right. Truth is the truth. And there's so much shit out there with people just in fucking denial. They're blurring the social justice. Like you have the fitness and now you have the social justice shit that's bleeding over into fitness. Everyone gets defensive about everything. And I saw some other stuff today about, one of the problems, in addition to the stuff I just talked about with fitness, one of the problems with all the social justice is that I'm seeing a lot of pages on Instagram and on YouTube from people that are advocates, that are activists. Okay, they're activists for the LGBT, for that community. They're for all those like equal rights and race and stuff like that, which is fine. Like whatever you want to believe in, that's not what this is about. However, the activists for those real issues are now attaching onto other social justice issues like fat acceptance and body positivity. Now, here's the problem. When you have something like LGBT, okay, that's not affecting anyone's health, all right? Maybe mental health, you could have that conversation. But if you are gay, that's not a health risk. Unless there's something I really don't fucking know about common sense, right? I mean, it's like, you're not at risk for diabetes because you're gay. If you're trans, you're not at higher risk for diabetes. So, okay, that's a whole different conversation. But those activists, they start grabbing onto every different, it's spreading. I saw in someone's profile and they're activists for all those things. Okay, fine, have at it, Hoss. But then they latch onto fat acceptance and body positivity and all those things too. So then you can't debate these people on those issues because they group them with LGBT. They group them with all those other intersectional, that whole fucking mess over there. And then if you're against the fat acceptance, you're against all of it. So it's like you're a horrible person if you're against this whole fat acceptance movement. And then because you lumped it together, it's very similar to when you're passing something politics is not my bag, but when you're passing a law, right, where they call it earmarks, right? So when you have a senator or congressman and you want a bill passed, you're like, hey, we'll pass this bill. However, I want you to add my bridge reconstruction onto your bill. I'll vote yes if you add this part for my bill reconstruction. And they're like, oh, fuck. All right, fine. So then these bills and these things get very, very bloated with everyone else's because everyone's like jerking each other off. So then it becomes like something that it wasn't even to begin with, or maybe it was good to help people. This bill or whatever was going to be passed to help people. But then they just attached all these other fucking shit onto it. So then it looks like the bill was a hot fucking mess and everyone got screwed over because in order to get it passed, you had to jerk a lot of people off, essentially. Or double click the mouse. I mean, there's some female senators and stuff like that too, congresspeople, representatives. So holla at you, boy. Holla at you, ladies. So it's the same thing with those activists. So you're going after like real issues where people are having discussions about changing their sex and their gender identity and that kind of stuff. And then they're adding on to the body positivity and fat acceptance. So you group that all together. So essentially my point is, just to clarify again, if you're against one, you're against all of it. Because you're lumping that all together with rights for everyone, everyone's equal, everyone's this. And it's like, well, fucking hell. I don't care if you want to go down on clam. I don't care if you want to suck dick. It doesn't matter what you like, what you think you are. The whole LGBT, like that, fine, go do that. That's not affecting your health. That's not adding to major fucking healthcare costs. Your risk for type 2 diabetes isn't going through the fucking roof if you're gay. Like, it's so stupid. It's so fucking dumb. They're not the same thing. Being morbidly obese is not a state of mind. It's not a choice. Like, it's not something like, I'm going to be thin today. Yeah, I'm going to be awesome today. I'm going to be healthy today. Yeah, I feel like I'm a healthy person today. Like, we have like the science, we have like the actual facts. Like, you're fucking at high risk for some major issues. It's not the same thing. You see what I'm saying? You can't have the whole social justice thing and look at those two concepts as the same. Very hard, but it's sneaky. It's fucking sneaky. And that's how people are and that's how it's growing, because it's kind of hitching a ride. It's like those fish in the ocean where they just kind of like jump and they like suckle onto like the bigger fish and they just go for the ride. You ever see those things? You watch like Animal Planet and Discovery Channel where they just kind of like, they like ride the bottom of the shark or the bottom of the whale and they just hitch a ride for whatever. That's what it is. It's like hitching a ride on those other larger movements. So then all of a sudden it just gets snowballed. And then if you're against one, you're against all of it. And then you're a fucking hardcore evil person. You don't think anyone deserves anything. You don't think people should get food, and your diet culture, and you're a bad person. That's where it's going. It's so extreme. It has to be so fucking far to the sides. So that combined with people that are just putting out information without any real either education, real experience, or the real ability, but there's no toll booth to post these things. There's no one at the gate. You have a phone, you have a fucking pulse. Cool. You got an Instagram account and you can reach millions of people. You have a phone, you have a pulse, you can start making YouTube videos. You can tweet, you can say whatever the fuck you want. So not only do you not need a certification, like you don't have to. You could pretend to be just like, hey, I know fitness. Look at me. I have abs. Do this, eat this, eat that. That's what you get online. That's why it's a hot mess. That's not Instagram's fault. It's not YouTube's fault. It's everyone's fault. There's no regulation. And I'm not saying there should be regulation, because the individual, treat Instagram, YouTube, treat online content just like you would at a supplement store. If you live in the United States, if you went to, let's use the big one. People know what GNC is. You go to a supplement store, on the back of the supplement, you could buy whatever. They say whatever the fuck they want. You don't even know what the hell's inside it. They have proprietary blends. They put powders. It's all a powder. It's all different colored and flavored powders. You have no fucking idea. Unless you have a lab at home, you have no fucking idea what you're buying. That's the honest truth. So you buy it. On the back, it says, the Food and Drug Administration, has not tested or tried, blah, 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 right? This has not been proven to treat, prevent, cure any illness or disease. This may cause death, blah, blah. Use at your own risk. They put the choice on the consumer. It's just like the internet. So you could still follow someone. You have the freedom to do it. You could still buy that product. You still have the freedom to do it, but you don't really know what the fuck you're getting. So you're the one that has to be the filter. And that's what's crazy. People come into the fitness and they type in hashtag fitness and they just go with someone who has a lot of followers. There are a lot of people with a lot of followers that don't know their ass from their fucking elbow. That is the problem. And we associate that with clout. It's called clout on the internet. If you have X amount of followers, oh, you must know what you're talking about because a lot of people follow you. And a lot of people's followers are left over from when you were buying followers and Instagram started blocking and deleting people. But a lot of these people have massive followings because they still have a lot of bots and dead accounts that never got erased. So they have millions of followers because they paid for them. And you can tell when someone has 2 million followers and they get like 100 comments or they get like 10,000 likes on a picture or something. And you have 1 million followers. Like there's no engagement because most of those accounts aren't real and they paid for them in the past. There's only so much you can do when you have millions and millions of people using your service at the same time. You can't necessarily cross-check everything. You can't get every last little thing. So you have to be aware of what you're approaching. You have to be more mindful of who you follow. You have to be more mindful of the advice. And that's why the approach we take here with those of you that are members, float it in the comments below. If you're a member of Swolenormous X, those of you that are the Daily Swole Club, those of you that just follow the podcast, if you just found it, thank you for being here. I hope you subscribe and check out my other content. But what we talk about here is the approach, is the habits. Now, it's all hard work. And you can just say, oh, it's hard work. And just do whatever you want. Just, consistency and discipline. And that's true. But you still have to have the right approach to your nutrition. And what is the right approach? I mean, there you go right there. It's like, I just said the word right approach. Well, who knows what the fuck? No one knows yet. No one knows. Everything is biased. Everything's fucking biased. Everything. If a human being says something, it's biased. Even a lot of scientific research is biased, depending on who funds it, depending on who does it, depending what article promotes it, there's a lot of good research that never made it to journals because it got shoved under the rug. So who knows what other things, and if you're not really highly educated, you're not behind the scenes, you don't necessarily know about all of this. There's just a lot of shit. There's a lot of shit to go through, and there's a lot of things to kind of step back. So that's why the fundamental approach is great for everyone, because it kind of separates you from depending on someone spoon feeding you. So I respect all of you. I respect you as an audience. I respect you, and I'm not going to fucking bullshit you. I never have. This is why I want to help you understand why you're doing what you're doing. I want to guide you through the process of determining and self-education and becoming more aware of your body, how your body works, and what's optimal for you. And I know that sounds a lot less sexy than, hey, buy my diet plan for just $19 and boom, you'll lose up to 20 pounds. That sounds sexier because you just follow the bouncing ball, but you're missing a lot of that habit building. You're missing a lot of that learning about yourself, about how your body, and resetting your habits and learning how to break habits and create new ones and understanding why you want what you want. And I'm in favor of that aspect of self-love. I think you should love yourself. I think you should appreciate what you have. You should appreciate being alive. You should appreciate having food and shelter and family and whatever you do have. Whatever you have, you should be appreciative of what you have. And I don't think if you're, let's say you have 20 pounds to lose, I don't think you're a fat piece of shit and you should feel miserable. Maybe you weigh 350 pounds or 400 pounds. I don't think you should feel like a piece of shit and feel useless. I think you should be fucking fired up to make those changes to fucking be healthier so you can enjoy your life longer, so you can mitigate all those risks that are preventable. And one of the issues with the message of, oh, it's okay being fat, if you accept that, right? If you accept that concept, let's say you do, let's say you accept it. You're like, I'm beautiful. It's okay. It's my choice if I want to be fat. Okay. You have all this support, right? With the whole social justice group, whichever one it is, fat acceptance, body positivity, being large, thunder thigh crew, whatever you want to call. If you accept that, you have your community. And when you have a community and people that support you, you get locked in. You get fucking locked in. Now, what do you think someone's going to do that's part of the fat acceptance movement? Do you think they're going to train hard? If you resign yourself to fat acceptance, to loving who you are and understanding that, hey, you have the right to be fat. It's a free country, isn't it? You do have a right to be fat. But if you join that movement and you accept that whole mindset, are you going to be training hard? Are you going to be making good food choices? Are you going to be pursuing health, or are you going to be stuffing your face with candy and drinks and stuff because you're not going to have any inspiration? You're not going to have any reason. Why would you? You don't have any proper support. Everyone around you is like, oh, enjoy yourself. Have a better relationship with food. What the fuck does that mean? I'm looking at these posts and it says you need to have a better relationship with food. That doesn't mean put everything in your fucking mouth. Would you just walk down the street and just suck everyone's dick just because there was a dick there? That's exactly the same thing. Oh, you have a better relationship with food. To satisfy your craving whenever you want. Like, oh, hey, are you busy right now? Here, unzip it and just fucking go to town. It doesn't make sense. You wouldn't do that, and you shouldn't just eat everything. That's not what a better relationship with food is. It's not just eating and satisfying a craving. I saw a post about, being hungry. You can't focus when you're hungry. You can't focus when you're hungry. Don't starve yourself. Don't restrict yourself, because when you're hungry, you can't focus. You're only hungry because you're training your body to get way too many calories in every day. Actually, if any of you have experienced this, you could drop in the comments below. If you practice intermittent fasting, you realize you actually have a heightened sense of focus because you're actually not focusing on eating. You're actually focused and you can hone in, and you're more sensitive and you're more alert because from an evolutionary standpoint, when you're hungry, generally that's when you would go and hunt food. So you're more focused and you're more laser focused on your task. We live in a society where we don't have to worry about if we're going to have food. Like, we have a choice. Like, hey, I can eat whatever I want. No one in history has just had like, I think I'll have food, except maybe an emperor. It's just like, no, you don't just have food because you want it. There's no refrigerator. Only if you were like the elite could you have food whenever you wanted. So now you can just go to your fridge. You can just you don't even have to talk. You can use your finger, tap a couple apps on your phone, boom, and have a pizza delivered in 15, 20 fucking minutes. So it's the habits. Yes, it's a caloric intake. Yes, it's a type of food. It's a combination. When you're eating junkier food, you can consume a lot more calories a lot quicker, so they go hand in hand. That's why I go after the quality and the composition of the food first before I start preaching about caloric intake. Because when you fix the actual problems, the choices that you're making, the habits that you're forming, what food choices you're making when you're going to the supermarket, how you're shopping, right? Resetting your taste buds, understanding that you don't have to be mouth fucked every single time you eat. You can eat for fuel. It's not a party in your mouth every fucking time. It's fuel. It's fuel. You don't pour Dairy Queen into your gas tank because your car, my car deserves a treat. Your car wants fuel. Your body wants fuel. And the choices that you make, the types of fuel that you choose, are going to bias you either to making better habits or worse habits, or excessively consuming calories or having sensitivities. And everyone has different issues, but we have to address it differently. We have to start from the fucking foundation. We can't be we can't be reckless with it. Not everything has to have a title, but we have to understand that a physical difference. Like I said, if you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you're trans, if you're intersex, if you're any of these fucking things, whatever letter, whatever thing you are, gender, sexuality, that's not a health risk. Being obese is a health risk. Okay? It's different. It's different. You can't group fat acceptance and body positivity into the whole thing with all the other social justice activists. So you have these fucktards that are just activists. I'm an activist. In other words, I'm just fucking slinging everyone's bullshit everywhere. It's all rainbows and unicorns and everyone's equal and everyone's this. Fine, but leave the fucking physical health issues away. Don't touch fitness. Stay away from the medical shit. Stay away from the people that really need help. The last thing that someone needs when they're extremely obese and they're really on the cusp of having major medical issues, the last thing they need is to be like, oh, you're okay. Just stay right there. All you need to do is love yourself. It's them. It's diet culture. It's society. It's not you. It's not you. No, it's not you. It's not your fault. It's not the fact that you've been eating 4,000 calories a day for the last 30 fucking years. No, it's society. It's the demonization of fat. Oh, everyone looks at fat people as evil. No, fat people used to be looked at as successful. If you were fat, that means you had enough money to enjoy extra food. If you were portly, you were looked at as, wow, you're very successful. But those people fucking die because you can't stand up, because you can't wipe your own fucking ass. You can't see your dick or your clit. You can't walk up a flight of stairs. I mean, there's so many other things. Fuck the diabetes. Forget the metabolic syndrome and the heart disease and all these things that increase your risk. What about movement? I mean, do you care about standing up? Do you care about getting up off the floor? What happens when you fall, you trip, you can't catch yourself because you're not able to hold up yourself and you're 400 pounds. You land on the ground, you can't get up because you broke your fucking hip because you landed so damn hard, and then you can't move. You can't get up. You're screwed. You can die. People die like that. People fucking die like that. So when you have support and community, the difference is the authenticity and the intent behind that support and community. And that's why this community is fucking fire. That's why Swolenormous X and our private community fam is fucking fire, because it comes with the real shit. Okay? You have support here. You have support. You have accountability. What you're not going to get is smoke and mirrors and fucking lies and say it's okay. No, you have to step up and take responsibility for where you are. Whatever the reason in the past, it doesn't matter. You can change today and then make the moves forward to make your life better. I mean, obesity is physical. Physical. It's not a mental state. It's not an emotion. It's not a season. If you're fucking fat, you're obese, you're morbidly obese, you're going to have an issue. You can't just, oh, I'm just going to love myself more and everything will be okay. All right, good luck with that. Good luck. Well, let's see how that turns out. Let's see how healthy at every size turns out. Sure. Wouldn't it be nice? You wouldn't need doctors and medicine. Oh, I broke my leg. I'm just going to snap my fingers and feel like it's not broken. I don't want to have a broken leg anymore. I'm just going to, that's the same fucking idea. It's so stupid. It's so stupid. And lumping that together with all the other activist shit is really going, it's making it worse. It's snowballing because it's attaching that little fat acceptance, that little fucking thing that we talk about a lot, is latching on to that bigger entity. And it's going to gain steam because it's going to be grouped with all of that. So then if you're against one little part of it, you're against the fat acceptance, you're against LGBT, AQI, XYZ, you're against all that shit, you're against all those rights and all. And that's what I'm seeing online. I'm seeing a lot of people push back against this physical stuff from a fitness standpoint, from a health standpoint. But now, because everyone's starting to group all this activist stuff together, you're against one, you're against everything, and that's not true. All right? There's a lot of nuance that we have to talk about. You can be left or right or this and have, you can be generally, you can have, why can't we have specific feelings about specific things? Why do you have to believe in one thing and then you believe in everything? Like if you believe in one group has X rights and should have rights, why does it have to be all or none? We can have opinions about different individual issues. It doesn't have to be all grouped together. But that's what's fucking slick. That's what's slick about this social justice shit. That's what's slick, is that they're fucking moving that direction. They're trying to jump on that train because it has momentum. There are bigger issues at stake and they're trying to hijack it. And it's working. For a lot of people, it's fucking working. And it's killing them. Straight up. All right. Mickey, if you really love yourself, you would get up and make a change. You would become healthier. We would hope. I just look at these people that can barely walk and think, is X food worth it? Well, some people think it is. Short-term pleasure. Pappy sweetheart, what got me to stop putting bad things into my body was realizing how bad some foods are. Literally nothing but fat for your body or just flat out bad shit. Aaron, do you think it would be more effective in terms of healthy weight loss if people stopped counting calories and started counting carbs and sugar intake? I do. Well, it's the same thing. I mean, it's the same. I mean, carbohydrates are calories, fats, calories, proteins, calories. The reason why I don't the reason why I don't talk about counting calories first is because if you're still eating Snickers and soda and you're just restricting your caloric intake, you're still like if you're only allowing yourself 1800 calories a day, you need to make sure those calories count. You need to be making sure that you're getting your micronutrients in, or you might be supplementing with things that you're lacking. If you're limiting your caloric intake, then you need to make sure those calories have value. If you're eating chips, you're not getting nutrients from that. You're getting empty fucking energy. That's why it's important. That's why I want to approach things from quality and from a composition, food composition. What's that food made of? What's in it? What's in it? Like, where are you getting it from? How much fiber is in it? Is it coming from a good place? Is it a better decision? What's the habit? Like, why are you choosing that food? Like, what's your reasoning? People don't have a reason to do things. They just do it. You go to the supermarket. Oh, I have a card. Oh, there's things on the shelf. Oh, I'll buy this. I'll buy this. I'll buy this. I'll buy this. I'll buy this because I want to buy this. I'm going to buy this and put this in my mouth because I can buy this and I can put this in my mouth. And they buy it based on the marketing. They buy it based on the box, or on the color, or on the name, or the way it sounds. They're not like, what's your reason for buying these foods? I don't think 99.9% of the people really have a thought behind what they're purchasing. They just buy things that sound good, that they feel like. That's not what we're designed to. That's not really how we evolved. I'm not saying it's always wrong, but for fucking God's sakes, like if you're just eating things because you feel like it, when in evolution have we just, I'm just going to eat this now. I'm going to eat that now. I'm going to eat that now. We have the ability, the amazing ability to get a lot more nutrients than we ever have before. However, we also have the ability to eat as much as we want, whenever we want, all the time. All the fucking time. How crazy is that? We have the ability to just eat whatever we want in as whatever quantity we want. People used to have to fucking work for their food. You used to have to farm for 15 hours a day for 6 months to get your food. You used to have to go hunt for days or weeks and find a buffalo and then carry it back 10 fucking miles where the thing weighs 2,000 pounds. You could only bring back whatever you can freaking carry before it rots, and you had to eat it right away or smoke it. You know, like there's a lot of shit that we went a lot of times without eating. The human body is designed to go without eating. I think it's great to do fasting. I think intermittent fasting is great. I think a time-restricted eating window is great, and it helps. However, it works so much better when you're making better food choices. It works so much better. It works so much better. Now, here's another thing. In closing, I don't give a single fuck if you love calorie counting and you want to eat candy and you want to do your shit and you're calorie counting and you have everything and you're happy and you're managing your weight and it's working for you. That's great. Applause. Fine. I don't care if that's what you want to do. I'm taking the opposite approach because what I see when I go anywhere, if I go to the supermarket, if I walk down the street, if I go to the mall, if I go anywhere, all I see are dudes walking around with guts. Why do skinny guys have guts? Why is everyone fat? Why does everyone have a bulge in their stomach? Everyone. Every man, every woman, everyone has a stomach. Why? Why? We have been counting calories as a society for decades. We've had calories on the back of nutrient. People have been counting fucking calories since the 80s and 90s. Oh, calorie, how many calories? Oh, low calorie this, low calorie this. It doesn't work. Do you know how I know? It's because look at everyone. Everyone's fucking fat. It's through the roof. It's because you're cutting down the fat. So everything was low calorie this, low calorie this. It's the composition. It's what's in the food. It's what's in the calories that you're eating. Can some people get away with eating junk food? Yes, obviously. Does that mean that's the message we should be sending? I don't think so. I don't think that's helping the most people. It's giving a lot of people the wrong idea of what they can get away with. People are getting into nutrition and they're getting into their fitness when they're obese, expecting a fucking cheat meal. People are coming into fitness and coming into weight loss expecting, when's my cheat meal? Oh, I always hear about this cheat day and these cheat things. And like, For what? What the fuck did you earn? Everyone wants results. Everyone wants things the easy way out. People want to make $1 million by putting in no fucking work. People want a full fucking body and physique without working out every day and eating healthy every day. Everyone wants those things. And some people can scratch off a ticket and win the lottery. It's true. Some people can, I don't know, make a viral video and all of a sudden you're on Ellen and all this stuff. And then you get signed and then you have $1 million. Some people just have like, boom. It doesn't mean it was easy. It just means like, wow, they were in the right place at the right time. And there was a lot less friction for some people. Sure. Can some people eat fast food and have abs? Okay. Does that mean we should be talking about just calories and fucking eat whatever you want? And hey, the 10 things you can eat at fast food that are healthy and make all these YouTube videos. It's like, why don't we just teach people how to fucking cook? It's because no one knows how to cook because they took out home ec and shit in school. People don't know how to fucking make their own food. Oh, I'm getting bored with the same recipes. Oh, what are some other ways to make? Fucking Google it. Google it. If you Google a recipe, you do understand you'll get about 10 million options. What the fuck are you asking? Do a fucking search. Figure it out. I get bored of chicken and broccoli, so Google chicken recipes. You have enough, you have 5 minutes to look at 10, you have 10 million to choose from. Scroll and then close your eyes and tap on something and fucking cook it. Oh, it literally tells you what to do, by the way. If you ever looked at a recipe in your fucking life, if you know what a recipe, you know what a recipe is? It doesn't just tell you, oh, you need some chicken and you need some vegetables. Okay. It tells you step by step what to do. Chop these up, wrap this up, sprinkle on this, put it on a tray, turn it to 400, put it in the oven, wait 20 minutes, take it out, put it on a plate, pinch your nips and fucking put it in your mouth. That's how you cook. You read. If you don't know how to cook, no shit. No one does until you learn. I didn't know how to lift until I started lifting. I didn't know how to maintain a luscious beard until I grew a luscious beard and didn't know what the fuck I was doing for a while. You want to know how little I knew about beard grooming and growth and fucking maintenance? Look at some of my older videos. I used to let that thing go fucking long and I didn't trim it or iron it or whatever. It was a fucking hot mess. So you learn. And then you take better care of things. You're like, oh shit, this is how you do it. Oh, this is what I've been doing wrong. Oh, okay. It's called learning. And you do things differently. Yeah. And if you're not learning everything regularly, if you're the same person you were 5 years ago, come on. I have a different opinion about fitness. I have a different approach to fitness. And for me, I'm so different than when I was 5 years ago and 10 years before that. You should be growing. My opinion, my approach, my mindset, what I share with all of you, just the details and like how I direct things, because I see what has been working and what doesn't work. And it's not to get more followers. It's like, oh, this is more effective of an approach. Oh, this is that open space that no one's seeing, that no one's talking about. So then I go there. That's what I'm doing. I'm evolving. You got to evolve. If the audio is low, then you got to go watch on Facebook, YouTube, watch it somewhere else. You get better audio from the microphone if you watch on one of the other networks. So Twitch, Periscope. Is Periscope even on? Yeah. Twitch, Periscope, YouTube, Facebook. Instagram's with the phone. Can't multi-stream on Instagram yet. Maybe this year. Maybe they'll come out with it. Kimberly, I get irritated when people ask me for recipes. I'm like, Google or YouTube it. No shit. If you don't know anything, just go on YouTube. They'll literally, not only will they tell you how to do it, they'll show you how to do it. Nikki Brown, on my vacation, I tried the grass-fed beef. I am sold on buying that meat. I usually have issues eating beef. I had no issues with grass-fed beef. It is a choice to eat better. And then you'll see a lot of people that say, well, there's no difference. If you do the composition, there's no difference between grass-fed beef and grain-fed beef. Well, then why does someone like Nikki eat beef and have issues, and then she has grass-fed beef and then doesn't have problems? Then fucking tell me what's in it. Whether or not it's a chemical, it's an antibiotic, maybe it's, a certain vitamin. It doesn't matter. You don't need to have a scientific test to break down the molecule that's in this as opposed to that. Just fucking cut that out. Like, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Simplify your life. You don't need to have a chemistry degree. You don't need to have a fucking PhD in organic chem to understand, oh, this doesn't make me feel good. I'm going to not eat that anymore. It's really simple. And a lot of people get diarrhea when they have fucking milk products and they eat ice cream and they still fucking do it. A lot of people get bloating and have joint pain and issues when they have gluten, when they have sugar, and they still do it. So you're just beating yourself up. You're just fucking flagellating, whatever it's called. You're just whipping yourself, just beating the shit out of yourself. I think it doesn't matter if it's anecdotal or if it's science. Don't get stuck on the details. My point is you need to pursue your own optimal nutrition. And you have the tools to do that. You have the ability, you have the phone, you have the internet. You can make those choices. You can learn more. You can search. If you have a question, you have a thought in your brain like, I wonder what the difference is. Fucking type it in. What's the difference between grain-fed beef and grass-fed beef? And get people's opinions and see if they make sense and cross-check them and just learn. And at least you have different ideas in your brain. You're going to find varying opinions about everything. People still believe the fucking earth is flat. So you have a lot of different people that you're always going to have something weird that pops up. But you need to check for the consistency. Remember, this is like the supplement stores. Okay? The FDA isn't checking this shit. You have to be diligent in your homework. So just like any information, be diligent. That's why the elimination diet is, in my opinion, the best way to approach it because you're literally doing your own scientific test. You're literally testing it on yourself and you're seeing, fuck those studies, fuck this, whatever that blog says, whatever this YouTube video says, I am going to do this and see for myself what works best for me. Not what anyone else recommends, not what someone's selling for a diet plan, 50% off, what's right for me. That's what's important. And if anyone's just telling you that they know exactly what's right for you, sounds like they're full of shit. Nicholas, I know some farmers that say the fat composition of grass-fed versus grain-fed are completely different. Well, they taste different to me. I've had both. And I will tell you, and I've told this story before. When I was bulking, I was eating tons of chicken, okay? There was a place down here in South Florida. I was getting a box of chicken, 20 pounds of chicken. Ready for this? It was in the back of like an Italian deli. You go back there and ask them for a 20-pound case. They give you a big fucking, like a cardboard box with a big like plastic bag full of chicken breasts. Now, these chicken breast people, I don't think I have anything that... All right, I would say, okay, you see this 32-ounce Hydro Flask. The chicken breast was maybe like the entire size of like this, the color part, not the rubber bottom. The chicken breast was fucking huge. I mean, literally injected with who knows what the fuck was pumped into it. I didn't know anything about this at the time. I was bulking. I was like, wow. It was $1.29 a pound. And this is like... this is not that long ago. It was like 10 years ago. $1.29 a pound, $1.49 a pound. If it was pricey this week. $1.49, $1.29 a pound. Super fucking cheap. Who knows what the fuck was injected into this stuff? Massive chicken breast. I looked at that. I held it up. I'm like, that chicken's supposed to have 2 of these fucking things? There's no way that was a real chicken. All right. I had, and this is over the, of course, cumulative. I had the worst heartburn. I could barely do a crunch on a ball. If I laid back, my throat would burn. I'd be drinking water. I started taking Prilosec. This is like 15 years ago. I was taking Prilosec and it's like, I'm not solving the problem. I was just taking a pill. I mean, that saved my life. And I felt that because it was so miserable because I was getting nasty acid reflux, nasty heartburn. And I took Prilosec and it went away. Oh, it was like a fucking miracle. But that's not how you solve a problem. You don't put a Band-Aid on it. You fucking solve the issue. So what I did was I learned a lot more. I really started researching it and I said, fuck this shit. So I cut out all the meat. I cut out all the meat I was eating and I wasn't eating good quality meat, chicken, steak. And I think I was just doing fish. I was pretty much vegetarian for like 6 months. And I was doing all the stuff. I was doing tons of like alfalfa sprouts and broccoli sprouts. I was making my own salad dressing with olive oil and vinegar. I was even doing stuff like, Ezekiel bread kind of bothered me a little bit, but I was really just doing tons of veggies, tons of greens, like super alkaline diet. My acid reflux went away, completely away. You might even say that Papa Swole was plant-based for a while. You know what I'm saying? Plant-based. Yeah, plant-based, motherfucker. Who knows what the fuck that means? Anyway, so went away, never came back. So it got to the point after about 6 months, and I think these dates are accurate because I think 6 months. I remember I've been saying 6 months for a while, so it must be 6 months. And I started having like this craving, like in my core, like deep, like in my fucking DNA, I craved steak. So for the first like couple months, I didn't care. I smelled it, didn't want it. No interest in steak, chicken, nothing. Didn't want any meat. And then I just had, all of a sudden I started having these cravings. Like it was just like fucking, it wasn't like a day. It was just, my body was telling me I needed meat. After like 6 months, it was a while. But when I came back to eating meat, and this is a long time ago, so I'll wrap this up because I have to head out. But when I started eating meat again, it was only like the highest quality grass-fed beef, X, Y, and Z. Never had acid. And I only get acid reflux now if I have, let's say I have some beer, maybe it just doesn't hit me right, or if I have something that's, someone else, whatever. But if I'm kind of stray from what I do, then I'll get acid reflux. But grass-fed beef, high-fat diet, I've never had it since. It was what the fuck was in that food. You are what your food eats. It's in your food. It's in there. So it wasn't magic. It wasn't magic, but I don't get it anymore. And I eat grass-fed beef. I have chicken. I'll have turkey. I'll have wild fish, but like I don't get acid reflux. I do not. I've had bison, buffalo. I had, yes, organ meats. Liver, heart, yes. Don't have it. I don't have issues. So I'm just telling you, but I only learned that because I did it myself. I know, I saw, I felt it, I experienced it. So that's what I want for all of you. I want you to experience it. And I encourage all of you to do so. Thank you so much for everyone for joining me for episode 1155 of the Daily Mother Swole, the most muscular Swolecast, Beardcast, Broadcast, Gamecast, Mancast, Pimpcast, Sleevescast, and Slaycast in the realm. Because when I flex, you flex, we all flex our biceps. I'll see you tomorrow for episode 1156. Reminder, tomorrow's Saturday, but Sunday is a Sunday Fun Day Q&A. So make sure you turn your notifications. Stay tuned. Instagram's going to shut off in about 15 seconds because it's been an hour. But I'll see you all tomorrow for 1156. Peace, McGeese. Deuce, Magoose. Your boy, Papa Swolio. Out. Later, fam. Peace. Where's my button? I'm sticking around for a little while. How you doing? Hey, what's up? It's your boy, Papa Swolio.